What did Paul see in the water of life that broke him? Paul's throat we of elfethet parts boke him air like burns with bone spice, a prelude to agony. Its edge humming with forbidden tech, his vision scorched by visions. Paul's throat we of elfethet parts boke him air like burns with bone spice, his vision scorched by visions. The Holtzman Field, shield and sword, now cradles the matter's return. A weaponized shield births a cult addicted to its own shadow. The Imperium's salvation becomes its reckoning. The shield that armored the Imperium became its curse. Holtzman radiation didn't just kill it, altered. Spice-sensitive blood boiled in its wake, reshaped by weaponized physics. The Honored Matres emerged not from benevolence but fallout, their addiction. A scar etched by the same tech that won battles. What protects can corrupt, what corrupts can conquer. The Imperium's salvation was a womb for its executioners, a shield bent into a blade, a cycle of creation and destruction. How does a shield become a grave? The Holtzman Field was meant to guard, it guarded nothing. Beneath its shimmer, spice clung to wounds like a curse. Who were they before the radiation? Refugees in sciaches, victims in axolotl tanks. The wind carries no answers. Spice-sensitive blood met forbidden physics. Fremen daughters, Gesserit acolytes, T-Lalexu test subjects, all fused in the agonies of war. A shield became a sieve. What seeped through turned flesh to weapon, bone to conduit. They called it evolution. It was ruin. Did the Imperium know? Did they watch their protectors mutate into something that hungered for the same spice that sustained them? The same shield that bent light now bent fates, a cycle not of power but of price. The Honored Matres walk with eyes hollowed by what they were, what they became. Their every breath whispers the cost of a shield that could not shield. What legacy is born when salvation becomes a sieve? The Holtzman Field bent light, it bent death. It became the Imperium's shield until they bent it further. Weaponized, its radiation seared spice-sensitive bloodlines. Not all perished, some thrived, addicted, twisted. The Matres emerged, bodies coiled with synthetic sinew, minds sharp as shattered stillsuits. Their war against the Imperium was no accident. It was arithmetic. Every blast of Holtzman fire wrote their birth certificate. Every shield raised a guillotine. The Imperium, blind in its hubris, turned salvation into a noose. They forgot the Orange Catholic Bible's first law, "Thou shalt not make a machine in the likeness of man," yet here was their punishment. A machine of flesh, a machine of rage. The Butlery and Jihad had burned thinking machines, but the Imperium's own tech birthed a new horrorone that needed no AI to outthink emperors. Spice became both poison and profit for the Matres. Each pinch fed their hunger, each gram sharpened their vengeance. They did not conquer, they unraveled. The shield that saved the Imperium became its shroud. What does a civilization owe when its armor becomes the axe at its throat? The answer lies in the Matres' footsteps crushing. Relentless, alive. The footfalls echo through time's brittle shell. Sand gnaws at shattered bones of Ix. Air there still hums with the scream of atoms split for war. The Holtzman Field, born to cleave space, became the womb of monsters. Navigators bloated with spice, their minds folded into the folds of possibility, yet they saw only the price. Ixian alchemists, hands blackened by forbidden equations, carved their gods from radiation and hunger. They did not foresee the Matres rising from the dust, not as avengers but as inheritance. The Bene Gesserit had woven their plan through blood and silence for 10,000 years. They shaped navigators, bred concubines, whispered in the ears of emperors, but the Matres were no daughter of their design. No, these women burned with a fire the Bene Gesserit could not name, a hunger forged in the aftermath of their own wars. When the Holtzman shield shattered, its radiation did not die. It pooled in the ruins, a poison sweetened by spice. Those who drank it did not evolve, they unmade themselves. The heretics of Dune saw them return, not as specters but as storm. Their bodies, lashed by spice and radiation, became weapons. They did not seek to rule. They sought to unravel to peel back the layers of the Imperium's lies. The Bene Gesserit archives burned. Their plan, millennia in the making, cracked like a sand dollar under a boot. What does a civilization become when its salvation is its executioner? The guild still navigates, Ix still dreams. But the Matres walk relentless, their footsteps a requiem. And beneath their tread the old world's bones whisper, *, this is what you sowed, *. The navigators breathe spice to bend space. The Matres burn it to wield storms, both choke on the same poison. The Holtzman Field did not just shield the Imperium, it forged a hunger that outlives them. What feeds the guild also fuels their executioners. The shield that saved the Imperium became its noose. Holtzman Fields, designed to deflect, instead concentrated spice's volatility. What the guild harvested, the Matres devoured unfiltered, a hunger no womb could bear. Their bodies, altered by the same tech that powered thrones, became arsenals, not of choice, of compulsion. The Bene Gesserit bred for control, the Matres unmade it. Both sought dominion through blood, yet where the sisters plotted centuries, the Matres acted in fire. Their return in the Heretic's age was no accident, it was reckoning. A tide of spice-fueled wrath that nearly drowned the Order's designs. What does it mean when your weapon becomes your grave? The Imperium's faith in technology blinded it to the price of its shield. Spice, weaponized by Holtzman's physics, birthed a species that outgrew its creators. The Matres did not need gods. They were the consequence. The Bene Gesserit's failure is written in their near erasure. The Matres' failure. To see the desert they walked was their own making. Both groups, reflections in a poisoned mirror. The Holtzman Field's legacy is not in its equations. It is in the women who burned through lifetimes, chasing a high no empire could afford. Their hunger remains. A warning etched in ash, the Imperium's greatest strength, its cruelest irony. The shield that saved them became the knife they could not see, and when the knife strikes, it carves in silence. The shield that saved the Imperium birthed a shadow in its glow. Ix's forbidden equations twisted Holtzman's veil into a hunger. Spice, once a guide, became a chain. The Matres, forged in stolen labs, clawed at its promise-blind, burning, broken, their power. A debt paid in silent screams. The tech that bent light bent also the flesh, leaving ghosts who walk in a galaxy that forgets. What remains of Ix's experiments hums in the void, a dirge for those who dared to cheat death. The Holtzman Field does not forgive, it waits, it whispers, and the Matres listen, always they listen. 126. The Holtzman Field's brilliance was its blindness. A shield against death, it became the Imperium's crutch, spice-fueled, brittle, and self-destructive. Specialization bred fragility. The more they leaned on its ghostly armor, the more they withered beyond it. The Matres emerged not as accident, but as echo. Their hunger for spice was the Imperium's hunger, twisted through war and waste. Where the Bene Gesserit sought balance, the Matres burned for vengeance, both cults born of the same shattered dreams. The Field's weaponization did not create them, it revealed them. A mirror held to the Imperium's soul, reflecting its greed, its cowardice, its refusal to face the void. The Matres are the price of cheating death, the Bene Gesserit the architects of the debt. Together they prove that power without wisdom is a prison, and the Holtzman Field, it remains, silent, hungry. A monument to all who mistook protection for peace. Beneath Dune's ash, axolotl tanks whom a labyrinth of flesh and machinery. The Bene Gesserit spliced genes with Holtzman's shadow, weaving spice into Matres' DNA like a curse. Their muscles ripple with synthetic symmetry, eyes void bright, addicted not to power but to the tool that made them. How did the Bene Gesserit forge warriors from such fragility? The answer festers in the tank's viscous glow.